What it do, Kazam crew? Azel back in the booth, and today we're gonna be talking about Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders finally gave us some details about their progression wipes, and we got a whole article that's explaining every detail about this that we're going to be covering. So I don't want to waste y'all time. I want to get straight into the video. If y'all boys new here, leave a like down below, comment how y'all feel, and smack that subscribe button so y'all can join the Kazam crew so y'all don't miss any more videos. So yeah, that is right. We do got an update in the Discord giving us updates on how these progression wipes work, and here's what they got to say. Raiders, today we're doing a deep dive into the Arc Raiders progression wipes, the Expedition Project. So they're not calling it wipes, they're calling it Expedition Project. Find out why we don't intend to have mandatory progression wipes in Arc Raiders and how our team approached the topic, what the Expedition Project is and how it works, how and when each raider will have able to access to complete projects and reset their progression throughout expeditions, what happens when a raider project is not completed at the end of each 8-week cycle, what you keep and what you will lose when you complete an expedition and what will change for you afterwards, why completing expeditions is worth it, and more details about the philosophy behind the development and reset mechanics in Arc Raiders. And then right here we're going to be covering this full blog from the design director Virgil, so we finna get into that. It's sounding good though, I ain't gonna lie. Hello all, I am Virgil, the design director for Arc Raiders. I'd like to spend a bit of time talking about a topic that is important to many players familiar with games like Arc, or as we refer to it, the Expedition Project. Previously, the question on how we will handle resets or wipes has come up. Until now, the answer has been currently we do not intend to do mandatory wipes. These words have been chosen carefully as we do not intend to have mandatory wipes. However, as some have guessed, we do have a voluntary reset mechanic. Just to make it clear, we absolutely see the benefits a global wipe provides. Veteran players can experience the game fresh, the economy is reset to the baseline, and all players have about the same level of capabilities, at least for a little while. However, one thing a mandatory wipe does not do is respect the investment of those players who do not have as much time to play overall. So as we have done with several other mechanics, before mimicking other established mechanics, we'd like to try our own method, ideally to the end that best suits Arc Raiders and the larger majority of its players. So with them not doing mandatory wipes, I feel like I can respect that, because it sounds like they want everybody to have the same fair experience, which is not a problem to me. Because one thing about it seems like this game gonna be based off pure skill, and I'm here for it. Which brings us to the Expedition Project. The tunnel networks connected to Speranza are vast but largely unexplored or inaccessible. Most survivors stay within their settlements, but like the raiders who dare venture topside, there are those who dare venture even farther. Once a Rust Belt has given all it can offer, some raiders choose to set out beyond their borders of what they know. As of now, this has always been a one-way trip. So right there, it seemed like what they saying is when you going out there on them trips, it seemed like it can be risky. And they basically saying that a lot of people don't make it back. So get your ass out there, grab what you need, and come back. At level 20, the first major project players will have access to the Expedition Project. Upon completion, this project makes the character reset available. If a player completes a reset, they will be able to do so again as long as they complete another of these projects. Alright, so once you hit level 20, you got access to start working on your project, and if you want to, you can do the character reset. Now they is stating that is optional. Here goes a little picture right here, a timeline. Reach level 20 to unlock the Expedition Project. We got October 30th through December 14th. That's probably the 8 weeks I see right here in this article. And then you got the caravan construction and supply phases available. So I'm assuming these are what you're working on and this is the amount of time you got to do it. I feel like that's pretty slick. I can't be mad at that, I ain't gonna lie. And I feel like the replay value of this just went up a little bit more because now this is giving us something to do. And it's giving us something to work for. The Expedition Project will operate on a repeating cycle, roughly 8 weeks. During the course of these 8 weeks, players can contribute towards and make progress on their Expedition Project, which will overall be somewhat a large time investment. Start of the 8th week, the ability to finalize the project will become available and remain available for that entire week. If a player has fulfilled the necessary stages of the project, they will be able to commit to completing the expedition during this period. Should a player's project not be ready during the window to complete the expedition project, their progress will be kept, allowing them to continue working on the project until the next finalization window. Damn, so that means probably a whole nother 8 weeks, huh? Other projects has been added over time as part of the updates, holidays, and other events. This will range in scale and reward structure. Okay, I see how they coming. So what they saying is once you hit level 20, you got 8 weeks to level up your project. And if you're not done by the end of them 8 weeks, all of your progress saves and rolls over until the next 8 weeks. So meaning that you have to be done within that 16 weeks. And I'm assuming that keeps going on. So what they telling me to tell you is get your shit, reach level 20 and level up that expedition project. Because you don't want to be stuck at week 32 and you're still doing shit from week 16. You know what I'm saying? So get in where you fit in. That's what they telling me to tell you. But it's not all bad that because right here it says what is kept and what is lost. So what do you keep through the expedition versus what is lost? Players will lose anything inherent to their character's progress, levels, skills, items, inventory, workshop, crafting capabilities, etc. So meaning like your basic loot that you use to craft and stuff, you're gonna lose that, of course, which I'm fine with. I mean, I feel like that's on a lot of games. Players will keep cosmetics, earned or purchased, awards, achievements, rankings, etc. Essentially anything rooted solely in a metagame or involving real money will be preserved. So you won't lose anything that you physically paid money for, and all your cosmetics and anything attached to your character, you will keep. I would be mad as hell if I paid like $30 for a skin and it just went away because I died on the expedition. Like, that would be so crazy, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Do you know what type of pain that'll bring to a nigga? Like, damn. For convenience, after completing an expedition, players will be able to skip the majority of the onboarding and tutorial steps they went through as a new player. This being things like unlocking certain features, maps, etc. as they play through the early game. These will be available from the start as a fresh reset. Alright, cool. So once you do your player reset, you ain't gotta do no tutorials, no prologues, none of that. You can just get straight into the game like nothing ever happened. Now, aside from players who like the thrill of starting fresh, why would you willingly give up all of your hard-earned progress, incentives, benefits and incentives? We are still finalizing the exact benefits and rewards, but they will generally follow along these lines. And this is right here is basically like their prestige system, so here's what they got to say. Permanent account unlocks for each completed expedition, unique cosmetics rewards for each completed expedition, account buffs that are applied for the duration of the following expedition cycle, and sequential completion of the expedition increase of the magnitude of these buffs up to a limit. It's giving us a reason to do the fresh reset, adding buffs to our players, and giving us permanent unlocks, bro. Come on now, you would do a fresh reset on COD. Arc Raiders ain't no different, gang, I ain't gonna lie. One point to drive home is that we're being very careful about the nature of these benefits. Completing a reset should never give a player power or combat advantage over anyone who has not completed a reset. Initially, these benefits will recenter around cosmetics and bragging rights, quality of life, and smoothing out some of the aspects of progression of those who have gone through a reset. So they're saying it's not giving you a full advantage over other players, but they're gonna give you some stuff to flex with in game. I mean, hell, give me some type of banner or emblem or some type of glowing effect on my person that you can see in game to be like, yeah, I'm that nigga, I won. You know what I'm saying? So what comes next? While any of all of these are subject to change between now, launch, and post-launch, that is about the shape of it right now. We hope that making the reset mechanic voluntary and properly incentivized, we can observe two results. Option 1, players who are highly engaged can experience the game fresh on a regular cadence while accruing some benefits. Option 2, players who have less time to dedicate to the game, don't have the progress reset outside their control. They're always able to keep moving forward at their own pace if they choose. It's not a silver bullet. We won't achieve the clean break that mandatory global reset does, but it does aim to be more equitable to all players. Wherever possible, we want your value to be your time spent in games as much as you do. Of course, this is a complex topic, so we'll be keeping an eye on the discussion around this message, and a follow-up is necessary. Thank you for all of your interest and passions for Arc Raiders. I look forward to seeing you topside. Virgil. So it sounds like that they're really looking for our feedback, and that's what this video is for. I want to get y'all feedback so we can help Arc Raiders grow and be the best game that it can be, because it sounds like they're willing to listen, because at the end of the article he did say we're going to be keeping an eye on this discussion and taking action as needed, basically. With that being said, how y'all boys feeling about this? Y'all liking the progression system? Do y'all feel like this makes sense, or do you feel like they should just do the traditional route and go classic wipes? Right now, I do feel a little bit half and half, but I do like the way they're going, because once again, they're giving us a reason to do a clean reset. I don't know, it sounds nice to me. We just gonna have to wait and see, obviously. But the open beta is coming up. If y'all boys getting y'all hands on it and y'all want to play down below, make sure y'all comment y'all gamers tags. Comment what system you're gonna be playing on as well, because I'm gonna definitely need somebody to play with. Leave a like down below, comment how y'all feel, subscribe to join the Kazam crew so y'all boys don't miss any more videos, and let's keep going crazy, man. I'm gonna see y'all on my next.